Hey friends, welcome back to the kitchen. Happy new moon eclipse in Aries. I don't know if it's a little bit crazy where you are today, but I've been feeling a little bit unsettled since we had the full moon in Libra 2 weeks ago. And so today I was like, I'm not going to leave the house because I'm not directly in the path of the full eclipse, but I get like 90% of it. And I don't do well with people's crazy energies to begin with. So I'm like, I'm going to stay home. So today's supposed to be nice. So I'm hoping to get these elderberries potted. I did pot up someone that already had roots. These ones don't have roots yet, but they're kind of struggling in the water. So I'm thinking they'll be best just in the soil. If they take, great. If they don't, they don't. I'm preparing, so this Thursday I am hosting a fermenting workshop in person in Port Jefferson. So I'm soaking the airlock lids that came. I'm going to give people options. They can either take the airlock lid, or I did get these other lids that, it's not open, but it's like the mason top lids. So it fits into a wide ring. And they're going to get some Redmond real salt as well in their take-home package so they can get started, right? So fermenting is not just pickles and kraut. It can be so much more. And this is why I do these workshops, to let people know that every plant that grows has medicinal purpose. And when you ferment, you enhance the nutrients. You add in beneficial bacteria that is local to wherever you're fermenting, right? Which is typically your house. So when I ferment, I get local bacteria native to Long Island, New York. And so when you buy products in the store, typically they're not organic. They may not have been fermented properly, and so there may be mold spores in there. And they're not fermented in your area unless you're buying local at a farmer's market. So this is why when you buy fermented products from the store, they may not settle well in your tummy because the beneficial bacteria is going to kill all of the bad bacteria that exists, whether in the fermenting product or in your belly. So if you drink too much kombucha or too much fermented liquid, or you eat too much fermented products at once, you will notice what's going on because you'll feel it in your stomach. But when you can incorporate fermented products a little bit at a time into your diet, into your everyday meals, you will see the benefits pay off. You'll have boosted immunity. You won't get sick as often. You'll have less GI issues, less constipation, less diarrhea. Again, I've been known to drink pickle juice or sauerkraut juice, whatever is in the fridge, if I feel a little nauseous or my stomach is gassy or bloated, because it works. It kicks it right out. So we also will be making some bombs today because it's the new moon and I only create at the new moon and full moon. I've got a pot of ramen going in here. I've got some homemade beef broth. I grilled up some flank steak yesterday. I've seasoned this with some onion powder, some garlic powder. I added some wakame, sea vegetables, for extra thyroid boosting as well as extra sodium and to fill it up a bit. I added the rest of the spinach that I had in the fridge that needed to be used up. I added coconut aminos, fish sauce, garlic powder, onion powder, ginger powder, sesame oil, and some dehydrated onion to guess. I was a little lazy and didn't want to cut onion. So next, what I'm going to add, now that the spinach has cooked down, I used one of those big big clamshell packages that I use for greenhouses for sowing seeds. Also, that's what we're going to check on our seeds today. See how that's going because it's been a little bit rough. And yesterday, exciting, I started some flower essences outside so that they would be imbued with the potential enhanced energies of the new moon eclipse. So flower essences, what they are is the water is charged with the vibration, subtle, energetic properties of each plant. So I'll take you along on that journey as well. So these are some organic sweet potato and buckwheat noodles that I actually found at like Marshall's, and I haven't been able to find them again, but we liked them. And this is, it's very clean ingredients. I don't like to use organic rice noodles because of the arsenic, and also I just don't do well with a lot of rice. So I do fine with sweet potatoes, so we're going to put those in there. We're going to use up the whole package. And this is what I'm going to eat for lunch because, again, talking about fermenting and eating for the seasons, we are in spring. It's all about eating young spring shoots. So whether that's pea shoots, your weeds, right? So that's why I talk about foraging a lot. If it's eating young greens, so if you seeded like I did, some arugula, some spinach, some lettuce, eating those young greens, right? Some kale, the young greens, the young spring greens that are coming up right now are so nutrient dense. And so when you eat with the seasons, you work with the body rather than against it. So even though it's going to be warm today, I'm still going to have some nourishing soup because that's what my body was calling for. And I needed to use up some stuff in the house. I had cut up these spring onions a few days ago. They need to be used. We used them for tacos on Friday night, but today is Monday and they could be used. So I'm going to cover this up and I'm going to take you along next on the flower essences. Scratch that. We're not going to go flower essences right now because I don't want this to boil over and have to clean that up. It was bad enough last Monday. I roasted a leg of lamb. Oh, it made a mess in the oven. So Tuesday, I spent all morning cleaning my oven. So I don't feel like spending the next few hours cleaning the stovetop, so we're going to stay here. I did want to share that I also, yesterday, I had some extra blood oranges and some extra cara oranges, which were delicious. I don't think I've ever had those before. And when my grandparents were in Florida, they used to have orange trees, and every year for Christmas, they would send us oranges and grapefruit, so it was nice to have that memory back. But so I used the blood oranges and the cara to make some blood orange marmalade. It is delicious. I had it in my chia pudding this morning, and my canner was acting funny last night. It wasn't actually going through the cycles properly, and fingers crossed it's not broken, but it was not actually counting down after it reached temperature to can them at 5 minutes. So they canned longer than 5 minutes before I just shut it down. But luckily, they all sealed because I wouldn't be able to re-can them because I did water bath canning. So what I also took out today was the last of the shredded zucchini. I'm hoping that we actually get zucchini this year, but I'm going to make some steel cut oats. The last of the steel cut oats with the last of that shredded zucchini. I've got some applesauce in the fridge that needs to be used. I'll add some spices to it, and that will, hold me over for breakfasts as well. A lot of times I'll just have soup, but I've been feeling really, really hungry lately. Even after eating breakfast, like an hour later, I'm hungry again, even though I'm eating protein breakfast. And because I can't eat eggs, my body does not deal well with them. It causes more inflammation for me. I'm always kind of like looking for things that I can eat that will be nourishing, that will hold me over. So I'm always kind of playing around to see what I can create, what I can make that's supportive. So today they're cutting trees on the road. So B is not happy because people are invading our space. And they're not here to play with her. And I'm not happy because it's loud. And I can't hear myself think, let alone today. I was hoping to get editing done this morning so that I could be outside this afternoon planting and gardening and so on. But it was really loud and I thought, let's pivot. Let's make lunch. Let's make our ramen. I will soak my fermenting lids. I will do all the things that I can do that I don't really have to think too much on. So that's what I decided to do, and I decided to take you guys along because I thought I would take you along this weekend when I made bread and pizza, and I don't even know what else I did, but I just wasn't feeling it. So you got taken along today. So you saw some ramen. It's really simple. I will link the recipe below. I modified this recipe for the blood oranges. I added ginger to it because I thought, that would be nice. There was no spices in it. And I thought, The ginger would be really nice, and I have a lot of extra ground ginger. So I added some ground ginger. I probably could have added more than I did. I think I only added a tablespoon. And I used mostly blood oranges rather than regular oranges because I wanted that nice color. And I had extra blood oranges, right? It's like you use what you have. So as long as you're following safe canning practices, you know, you can change the spices up. And as long as you're using the same amount of ingredients the canning recipe calls for, you can substitute, you know, a different type of orange. That's not going to be a big deal. I substitute different types of peppers all the time in a lot of my canning ingredients based on what I have and what I grow. And again, flavor profile. We don't really like things a lot of, you know, really spicy. So I don't use majority of spicy things. I use them as a taste, as a hint of what's to come, but I don't use as many as it calls for. I will then substitute mild peppers. So again, this is what cooking is about, right? So canning is not an experiment, but cooking is. So you experiment and you tailor it to your taste, right? So somebody might not like this ramen because it has beef in it. So you could do chicken. You could do shrimp. You could do pork. We don't eat pork. You could add a hard-boiled egg to the top. I don't eat eggs. So, you know, you make it the way that it's going to work for you. So once it quiets down, I will take you guys outside and along on our journeys there. Unfortunately, we did have bad storms again this past week. We had 70-mile-per-hour winds. It was pouring. I don't know, we had like 3 inches of rain in 12 hours. It's crazy. And some of my winter sowing got knocked down. I think I was able to salvage it. Time will tell. We do have some Brussels sprouts, some kale, some cabbage growing. I don't really think anything else is growing or it got messed up by the storm, which kind of sucks. So I did go to the greenhouse last week and reseed some seeds, some more tulsi, some borage, because my borage container got messed up here. Again, I wanted to take you guys along, but I left the phone in the car. So I don't have the phone on me a lot. It's not something that is a conscious practice for me. I don't feel great with it on me, so I don't leave it on me. So if I can avoid having the phone or technology on me, I do. And that's the way I choose, you know, as part of my back to basics approach. I choose to treat my life. It's something I can use. It's not a mandatory accessory. It's not something that's part of my life all of the time. It's a tool that I can use for the convenience, but it's not something that I use consistently or constantly. All right, I'm going to wrap up this video because I'm getting hungry. It's 12 o'clock, and I'd like to eat some of my soup to nourish me to get our next video done and to get some writing done today. Okay, talk to you next time.